how to grow tropical pitcher plants at home. They are one of my favorite plants to grow because they look so unique, they are so special, and they are very easy to maintain. So as one of the most amazing plants in the world, tropical pitcher plants are carnivorous plants that feed on insects and small animals for extra nutrients or for the extra vitamins, just like how we take supplements, right? So here are some photos of my pitcher plants that I grow in my garden. Right? They have highly modified leaves and they come in various sizes and various colors, some in red, some in green. Right? Very, very interesting. Although they are unique and special plants, right? They are usually or they are mostly misunderstood that they are very difficult to grow and they need very special care. Right? Actually, carnivorous plants are one of the easiest plants to grow. You don't have to do much to grow them well. Right? Most gardeners fail to grow them well because they give too much care to them. Right? They give too much tender loving care to them, and because they don't really understand about them, right? They don't have a lot of knowledge about these carnivorous plants because they are very different from the other kind of plants. Right? If you have done your research, if you know that they are carnivorous plants and they are best to be left alone, then you can easily grow them well. So today, let's find out how we can grow them easily and grow them very well at your own home. Right? As usual, we are going to use the same method like we did for the past videos. Right? If this is the first time you are watching my video, I cover in detail this method that I use in my ebook called Grow. You can download it for free using the link in the description below. So to grow pitcher plants well, right, specifically tropical pitcher plants well, we need to understand more about them. Right? We need to find out what they actually need, find out where they grow in the wild, their natural habitat. And with that information, we can then replicate the same kind of growing conditions in our garden. And that will give us the best chance of success. Right, so the 5 growing conditions that we should look out for is light, water, potting media, humidity, and feeding. Have you watched the Avengers Endgame? Right, once you have the 5 infinity stones, you can control everything. Right, same for gardening. Right, when you master these 5 growing conditions, you will become very successful in your gardening. You will become a gardening guru, right? So let's look at some of these photos of the pitcher plants in the wild. Right, from these photos, as you can see, it looks like the pitcher plants are growing on the forest floor where there are a lot of thick vegetation, very thick undergrowth right, around them. And these photos tells us a lot of things, right? They give us very critical information and clues that can help us to improve our gardening or create the right environment for them, right? First, they are grown mostly in shady areas, right? With a bit of direct sunlight from the top, right? So we can actually grow them under bright light condition with a bit of direct sunlight. So that would be like partial direct sunlight kind of thing, right? Next, we look at watering, right? Look at the surfaces of the ground. You can see that the ground looks very dark in color, right? Very deep dark brown, and definitely they look moist, right? This actually indicate that there's a lot of water content retained in the soil. So a lot more water is necessary. So with this understanding, you should never let the soil dry out because in the wild, right, the soil, the ground is never dry. Right, next, now we look at potting media. Right, if you read online, you will see a lot of articles, you will see a lot of posts or information talking about why these carnivorous plants had to be carnivorous. Right, and the main reason is that they did not get what they need from the soil. Right, so never use gardening soil, never use garden soil, right? Which there are too much nutrients, right? And those additional nutrients can actually cause damage to their roots. So what we are going to do is that we're going to use a soilless mix, right, which is nutrient-free, right, with equal parts of peat moss, right, together with perlite or sand, right. This will create a draining kind of media, but it will also be retaining a lot more moisture. Because forest soil tend to retain the water well, so the peat moss in your potting mix or the sphagnum moss in your potting mix will retain the some amount of water. So we will also look at humidity level. Right, this is fairly simple because they are found on forest undergrowth in the jungle, right, of the tropical rainforest, right? Pitcher plants are constantly in very high humidity levels. So what we want to do is that we want to ensure that you create a lot more humidity or blow away some of these direct winds so that the humidity are kept constant and high. Right, the last thing is feeding. Right, very easy for pitcher plants because they do not need any kind of fertilizers or any kind of nutrients to grow well. Right, so avoid feeding them insects. I know it's hard and it is very tempting to feed them insects. Right, they don't necessarily need those additional food to grow well. Right, if you feed them too often, right, the plant will actually die. So never use fertilizers or never feed your pitcher plants with insects or never use nutrient-rich potting media. So here you go, 4 to 6 hours of partial sunlight. Always keep the soil moist. Use nutrient-free water-retaining potting media. High humidity and absolutely no feeding. Right? Not the easiest growing environment to create, but if you can create such an environment, you can grow pitcher plants very, very well. However, there is an additional catch for pitcher plants. I don't do that often for my other plants, but there are 2 types of tropical pitcher plants, the lowland pitcher plants and the highland pitcher plants. Right, lowland pitcher plants can be grown in the warmer environments, whereas the highland ones they can only do better in cooler temperature. So ask the nursery or ask the seller if they can be grown in warm or cool environments. Right, so this is all about pitcher plants, and if you want me to talk about a certain plant that you're interested in growing it, or you have some questions about your current plants, right, make sure you comment below. Right, also subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. So enjoy your gardening and I will see you very, very soon.